Hey guys, so this week in social studies, we are still talking about economics. And remember, that is how we get money and how we use money. So before we talk about anything new, let's quickly review what we talked about last week. So we talked about needs and wants. Remember, needs are things that we must have in order to stay alive. Can you remember what some of them are? We need shelter, we need food and clothing. Those are examples of needs. We can't live without them. And then wants are things that we would like to have, but we do not need them to stay alive. That's all the fun stuff. All of those things are considered wants. And then we also talked about goods and services. Remember, goods are things that you can buy, and services are actions that someone does to help someone else. This week, let's start out talking about income and budget. This is not the fun stuff, but it's stuff that you need to know. So, the money that people earn at their jobs is called their income. And people use their income, the money they earn, to buy goods and services. And as adults, we have to make choices on how to spend our income each month. And the choices we make, that's called a budget. Needs that help us live have to be bought before wants. Does that sound fun? It's not. It's one of the stinkiest parts about being an adult. When we get paid, we don't get to just go out and buy whatever we want. We have to pay for our needs first. So I have a budget that I made up. This is not a real one. It's just sort of like what your family probably does every month, set up a budget to make sure they have enough money to pay for everything. This budget is for the West family. You see the lovely family over there on the side. This is their monthly budget. So they set aside $900 for shelter every month, $500 for food, clothing $300, family fun $200, and then savings $100. They try to save $100 every month. Let's see how closely you were paying attention. How much money does the West family budget for food every month? $500. Good. And how much do they budget for clothes? $300. Yep. Which of these things in the West's family budget are needs? Shelter is a need, right? They have to pay their rent or their house payment. Yes. Food and clothing are needs. What about family fun? Is that a need? No, it's a want. It's nice, but we can live without it. And savings. Even though it's wonderful if you can save every month, it's also considered a want because sometimes it's just not possible to save. Sometimes we need every dime we make. So that is income and budgets. Remember, income is the money that your parents earn at their jobs, and budget is how they spend the money that they earn, how they spend their income each month. The next thing I want us to talk about is scarcity. And I know you're wondering why in the world there are toilet paper rolls all over the screen. Scarcity is when there is not enough of something for everyone to have. And I bet that at home you have heard your parents talk about they went to the store because they need to buy toilet paper, and all the crazies have bought up all the toilet paper, and there is not enough for everyone. That's scarcity. Right now, it's getting a little bit better now, but because of the COVID-19 and all of the closures and people being at home, toilet paper has become scarce. There's not necessarily enough for everyone. Now, an example that will probably make more sense to you is the book fair. I want you to think about the book fair at school. When we would go to the book fair, was there enough copies of every book for every kid in the school? There's not, is there? There were a few copies of each book, but every kid in the school couldn't buy the same book because the books were scarce. So if you waited until the last day of the book fair, the book that you were eyeballing, that you were hoping to get, may not still be there because there were only a few copies. That's another example of scarcity, when there is just not enough for everyone. Now, the last new things we're going to talk about today are producers and consumers. Producers grow, make, or supply goods and services. And I have lots of examples here. You see the store owner toward the top of the screen, he supplies goods and services. The farmer grows goods. The toy maker makes goods. We like those kinds of goods, don't we? The factory worker over there is making goods. And then the firefighter and the police officer supply services. So they are also considered producers. Can you think of other examples of producers? Or maybe a time when you were a producer? There's one I know of. We have a producer in our class. Casey Hurd. I saw that she set up a dog walking business hoping to help other people by walking their dogs. She's being a producer by doing that. She is supplying a service. So good job, Casey. And consumers buy the goods and services. All of us have been consumers at some point. You see the lady that's buying the groceries at the grocery store, the mother and her kid that are buying toys at the toy store. Wouldn't we like to be doing that right now? The online shopping. Miss Steele has been doing this a little too good recently. I have been a very, very good online consumer and I need to stop. That's being a consumer. The McDonald's, when you get to go through the drive through and get your large mochas, yes, that's being a consumer. And getting your hair done. Oh my goodness. Y'all, look at my hair. I need to get my hair done. Those are all types of consumers when you buy the goods or services. So, today, what you are going to do is just like last week, you have a sort, but this time you are going to sort the pictures as to whether they are producers, they grow, make, or supply goods and services, or if they are consumers, they buy the goods and services. So that is your assignment, whether you are doing the work packets or if you are on Seesaw. If you have any questions or problems, tell your parents to text me, email me, hit me up on Seesaw or Class Tag, and I'll be glad to help however I can. So good luck on your assignment, and we'll see you next time.